Hey everybody, this is Sue Craig, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Cleveland, Ohio. And today I have a quick and easy card for you. This is called a matchbook card. Years ago we used to use matchbooks. They had matches in them. We don't use those anymore. Most of us don't. Anyway, this opens to reveal something inside. I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy card. The paper that I'm using today is from my favorite paper in the catalog, and it's Thoughtful Journey. Thoughtful Journey is full of beautiful scenery, and I wanted to show you an easy way that you can use the seams and things in this to make your card. And I'll show you what I did. The piece that I needed for my card front was 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So what I did was I took a piece of vellum, and you could use a window sheet, or sometimes we call it acetate. I cut a piece that was the size that I wanted. Then what I did is I took this and put it down on my paper so I could see what would be seen in that window of 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now down here I could have moved it down here and I would have had more flowers and not the biggest one up there. Then what you would do is take your pencil and you would mark the corners so you know where you're going to be cutting. And you would do that on all 4 corners. Then you have the marks and you just take it to your cutter and you do the cutting. Now, I chose the top because I would have one side that was perfectly straight. Okay. Otherwise you might need your T-square or something like that, but that's what I did. I cut my square and then I looked to see what was there. Now I could have brought it down here too and lined it up with both sides here, and then only had two sides. So that's how I did it. Let's get started. What you're going to need is a piece of designer series paper that's 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. For the inside of your card, you're going to need another piece that's 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. This is for the outside, and your designer paper will sit on top of it, so whatever color you decide. And this piece is 4 inches by 4 inches. In the front here, what I've done is I've put cardstock and then the designer paper. This is the back of this paper. So the designer paper is 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. For behind that, I made it 7/8 of an inch by 4 1/8. Keep in mind this is 4 1/4, so this is going to fit right on top like this with a small border all the way around. Regular piece of cardstock, except it's 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to score it at the 1 inch mark and at 6 1/4. So let me show you how that's going to work. Well, we're going to decorate this too with my purple fine shimmer gems, one of my favorites when I'm working with the purples. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start by folding on our score lines here, and I have what will be the halfway mark. And then I'm going to fold this 1-inch piece in. And you can see now that it's like a matchbook. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stapler and I am going to staple very close to the fold because I want the paper to be able to tuck in here like that. Now this is going to be covered with this paper, so you're not going to see it. Okay? And if we did it right, this piece should slide out. Phew. All right, let's get this put together. I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to add my adhesive. I like to do it just short strips here, and I usually do it on my mat. So I'm going to put this on. One thing I've started to do, and not necessarily with my adhesive, but with my glue, is I've started taking my reverse tweezers and using them to help me line up the paper. And for the glue, it makes it so much easier because your hands don't get any glue on them at all. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put adhesive on it. And then put this on the front. Okay. Now I'm going to tuck this in so that I can put these other pieces on. And then we'll add this to the card. What I didn't show you is the stamp set that I used. And that stamp set is called Prairie Grass. I used that for the outside. Now this card is going to be going to a hospital, and it'll go on a dinner tray. And so I like to put encouraging things inside. And that's why I put sending a great big hug. That's not a Stampin' Up! Stamp, but it sure brings a smile to somebody who gets it, who's sitting in the hospital. So all I'm going to do today is to stamp the outside greeting. And I'll decide what I want to put on that for another tray for the hospital. So I'm just going to stamp this using Blackberry Bliss. It says sometimes life is just hard. On the inside, I'm going to put my white paper. And again, you can put whatever you want in here. You could also, if you wanted, you could add a 4x4 piece of paper so that you would have a border like this. I just don't like to make these too heavy. But that's how you make a matchbook card. And now we're just going to put that inside like that, and we'll add our gemstones. And I like to do that with my scissors because they have a small kind of lip on them. So the gems just slide right on. And there you have it, a matchbook card. quick and easy. Well, I hope you like this card, and I hope you give it a try. And thanks for watching.